What's up, King Cats? Welcome back to my channel. So today, we're here for a Q&A. In front of the moss wall, say, hey, what's up? So I haven't done a Q&A in a few months, and honestly, it makes for great filler content that I can film really quickly. So that's what we are doing today. You have some Q's, I have some A's. Maybe the moss will speak to us. I don't know. Also, welcome to the first video in front of the moss wall. For reference, this room is still not done, so kind of my artistic vision is I want to have like a neon sign like here, and then up there where you can't see there, I want like hanging driftwood with like some vining plants that fall in these little like gaps, and maybe some like little either air plant holders or like propagation holders, whatever. I just want it to be like very like natural and vibey. My friend Yoon, because I had my holiday party last night, he was like, oh my god, this reminds me of like a coffee shop in LA, like with the like the leather couch and everything like that. Like I'll link the couch on Wayfair, or in the description box because it's from Wayfair, but I'll link it because it was under $1,000, which for a couch is pretty remarkable. Anyway, that's my vision for this room. But I figured it'd be fun to do a little Q&A, so without further ado, let's get into it. Kicking it off, my lovely friend Allie Gay, she asked me 3 questions, so I'm gonna answer all of them. She said, if you had to run an IG fan account, who would it be for? I feel like a lot of you can predict this. Pause this video, leave a comment below of your prediction, and then play it and see if you were right. It's Sam Heughan, 100,000,000,000%. And if you don't know who Sam Heughan is, I'm so sorry, but need I say more? No, I don't. If you don't know where he's from, shame on you, but I'm also going to introduce you to your new guilty pleasure, the show Outlander. I'm obsessed. I already wanted to go to Scotland because my family is Scottish, you know, way back. We are part of the Duncan clan from Scotland. So I've always wanted to go and visit, and also like as in like paying homage to my grandparents on my dad's side, just because that's where our Scottish lineage comes from. So I would love to go, like ideally with maybe like a family member or something like that, like maybe my sister, and experience just kind of like where some of our, to what we know at least, our strongest lineage comes from. But I'm also hoping for a Sam Heughan run-in is what I'm getting at. She asked, what is your favorite smell? So I'm gonna do 2 different categories. So we have like a life smell and then like a perfume smell. So my favorite life smell is fire. So like bonfires, campfires, like fire in the fireplace kind of thing. I love the smell of fire. And then also tobacco, not tobacco, but cigar smoke, which I guess not the same but similar, but cigar smoke, because my dad, once he retired, he like would sit out, he's still retired, but he'll like sit out on the patio and he'll have a cigar every now and again, and like in the springtime or the summertime, if it was warm outside and we had the windows open, like the smell of the cigar smoke would like waft into the house or into the kitchen or whatever, and so I would smell it, and that's just like a nostalgic smell for me that I associate with my dad, and I love my dad so much. Also, if you didn't know this, scent memory is actually the strongest form of memory recollection like that we have. So when you smell something and it takes you back to a period in time in your life, that's partially because like scent memory is one of our strongest forms of memory. But yeah, it's just a smell that reminds me of my dad. And then as far as like perfume smells, it kind of goes in line. 2 of my favorite perfumes, pretty much anything Tom Ford, like it's bougie perfume, but I'm like, I love this, and I always get complimented on how I smell, which is like one of my favorite compliments to receive, partially because of the scent memory thing, because I'm like, oh, you're gonna associate that smell with me now, and I really love that because I associate such and such smell with such and such person. 2 of my favorite perfumes are the Tom Ford Ombre Leather, glorious, and the Tom Ford, I think it's Tobacco Vanille. I think that's the name of it. I'll pop it up on the screen if it's not, but 2 beautiful smells. I wore Ombre Leather a lot this past year. I still wear it, but like the last couple months I've been wearing the heck out of the Tobacco Vanille because it's really nice. It's just like a sweet but smoky smell. I hate floral smells like Daisy, Marc Jacobs. Like I love you, Marc Jacobs, but like I hate the smell of Daisy. I hate the smell of anything floral, anything hyper feminine, anything like that. I prefer more stereotypically masculine smells, like musky, smoky, like full smells, if that makes sense. Then her 3rd question was, what are you most excited for in 2020? 2020 is gonna be a freaking great year, and I'm so excited. Oh, I'm ready, but I'm living in the present, but I'm ready, you know? So really excited to get back on stage. Obviously, that's something that I've wanted for years and years now. So to have that like actually on the calendar, on the radar, approaching, like, whew, I get really humped. I just said I get really humped. I was trying to say hype and pumped at the same time. I get really pumped or hyped, not humped. I get really pumped, hyped about getting back on stage. And then second thing is launching the new business. And I just got the email today that we're going to production. But I can't tell you what it is yet. So you'll find out soon. Oh, someone asked, how did you stop comparing yourself to other women? And I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that like I never do it, because I definitely do. We all do it. Humans, we compare each other, we criticize, like not criticize, but we are creatures of comparison. But I think I manage it a lot better now and I identify it a lot better now. And I think the biggest thing is just identifying I can exist and be whatever thing you're comparing yourself to about another woman. I can be beautiful, I can be successful, I can be intelligent, I can be whatever in my own way and in my own right, and the woman next to me can be equally that or differently that in her own way, and that doesn't take away from me. Just with the really superficial example of beauty, like for example, my friend Ariana is stunning, like head to toe, like goddess tier. I can look at her and be like, you are a shining queen of life. And I can look at myself and be like, I'm a shining queen of light. Like it doesn't take, the fact that she is that doesn't take away from the fact that I can be that and that. So just acknowledging that another woman's beauty, success, intelligence, personality, whatever, doesn't mean that you don't have your own equally wonderful but different qualities, whether it's your beauty, your intelligence, your expertise, whatever it is. We can all exist together, and we should, and we all have different things to offer, you know, the greater collective. So just acknowledging that it doesn't have to be a her or me game, it can be a her and me game.
Favorite physical and non-physical feature of a man?
That right there is the entire reason that I don't have one. But this is a difficult question because I feel like there's multiple features for each thing. Also, I didn't even say this at the beginning. I'm filming this on my vlogging camera, so I'm sorry if the quality's down. I can't use my other camera right now because she's busy. She's very booked, very busy. And I didn't feel like getting ready today, so I put in some brow gel, a little highlight, and some lip balm, so glad we're here. But it's like we're just sitting down talking, right? Anyway, favorite physical and non-physical feature of a man. If you're new here, I go on random, squirrel brain just takes over a lot. But favorite physical feature, this is hard because I have a lot. And something, and like, I don't know if you guys feel this way, whether you're male, female, whatever you identify as, but like when you're attracted to somebody, like the older I've gotten, I realized that I don't necessarily have a type like I thought I did. Like I can be physically attracted to people that look vastly different. I don't know if, maybe this is just part of becoming a normal adult human being. I don't know. Maybe it's the personality tied in with it. I don't know. But anyway, I'm gonna cheat on this question, and with physical features, I'm gonna say, because I'm gonna encapsulate multiple into one, I'm gonna say facial structure. I'm really attracted to like strong jawlines, strong noses, just like strong, unique features. Really attracted to that, like especially a good jawline. That's me with a strong jawline. And then non-physical features, we're gonna assume that all of the necessary prerequisites for like a healthier relationship, so like loyalty, honesty, trust, communication skills, all that stuff is included in this bundle. Code Emily? We're gonna assume that, even though that's not always the case. And we're gonna go with like the other things. I'm gonna be a cliche female and be like, I need somebody that makes me laugh. And I was thinking about this a couple weeks ago. I was like, I mean, I live by myself. It's me and Luna here. And I don't mean this in like a conceited way, but I crack myself up. Just like me and my antics all day long. Like, I have a good time up in here by myself. I mean, you see it with Luna judging all the crazy stuff that I do all day long. And like, you don't even see all of it. I'm just a giant goofball.
Shake it out, compose yourself. Oh my God. Ow! Ow!
Please say that.
Stop. You're practicing. She's ready. She's ready. In the heels.
Oh,
3, 2, 1, let's go.
I don't know how you can survive. Your neighbors are
I have an iron fortress! I left it her just trying to hold it
So, question.
And so I was thinking a couple weeks ago, I was like, I think I really need someone that is like on par with that. Like, I need someone that is on the same level of sarcasm. Definitely a necessary thing. I need someone that like can make me laugh harder than I laugh at my own self. I basically want us to be able to have like a back and forth roasting session at all times. That's what I want, so somebody makes me laugh. All right, someone asked, if calories weren't a thing, what's one food you'd eat every day? And I actually do eat it every day, and it's oatmeal because I freaking love oatmeal. Like, I literally love it so much, and I've been that way since I was a little kid. Like, I would always have the Quaker maple and brown sugar oatmeal with like butter and brown sugar as breakfast in the morning. That was my go-to breakfast when I was a kid. So I just really love oatmeal. I don't know what to tell you. Someone said, where do you get most of your sweaters and winter clothes? Fashion Goals. Thanks so much, girl. So I would say I get actually the majority of them from H&M, and H&M is one of the few fast fashion places that I still like shop at, just because I'm trying to not shop at fast fashion places as much. I'm trying to be a little bit more conscious of where my clothing comes from, but they do have a sustainability effort where you can donate clothes and they will recycle them and all of that good stuff. So I found some really great sweaters that I love and I've had for years from H&M. Obviously it's a hit or miss sometimes with fast fashion just because of like quality. So I would say like I'm a little bit less keen to order things online from somewhere like H&M, just because you never know like how it's gonna feel, if it's gonna be scratchy because it's less expensive, like if the like what the fabric's gonna feel like. But I would say 80% honestly of my sweater collection is from H&M. Pick one, candy cake or ice cream? Ice cream, 10,000%. 10,000%. What are your top 5 favorite workout clothing brands? Lululemon, and this is in no particular order. Lululemon, Balance, Petula, Buff Bunny, and Alo Yoga. As an entrepreneur, how do you keep yourself accountable for getting your work done? So I've always been a pretty good self-starter. I've just kind of been like that since I was little. But I would say from a work perspective, I just have the almost painful awareness to a fault that if I don't work, I don't get paid. I can't put food on my table. Like, that's just the reality. And the way that I structure my scheduling, the way I structure my thought process, the way I structure my like work strategy is I work until I'm done with my work for the day. So like I will have my things that are must-dos, which are the clients that I have checking in on any given day, because everybody has a designated check-in day. If there's any like brand related stuff that I absolutely have to have, or like my personal brand stuff that I absolutely have to have done by a certain date and I have to do it that day or whatever it is, and I make sure that gets done. And then I'll have like other things that, hey, it would be nice if I get this done today, but it's not a 100% absolutely has to be done today kind of thing. And I go in the order of importance. So I just know that like if I don't work, I don't get paid vacation. I don't get paid this. I don't get paid that. Like I get what I bring to the table. So I keep myself accountable because there's people that are counting on me to be accountable to myself and to them, aka my clients and my own brand and then other brands. And so I just treat it like any other job, because it is. It's just I'm the one regulating myself versus someone else regulating me. I am my boss. Ariana and I were joking the other day about how we like suck at taking vacations and how we really need to do it. And she was like, yeah, my boss rocks. And I was like, what? And obviously I was joking, but whatever. Someone said, no question, just wanted to say I love you and truly appreciate you always responding. That means a lot. I feel bad. I can't get back to every single person that like DMs me or messages me. That's why I'm always like, if you have a problem with anything business related, like if you ordered a program from me or something and you didn't receive it due to a technological error, email my support email, which is just info@emilyduncanfitness.com. Do not ever try and have a business transaction with me via DM, because I get so many that I'm gonna miss it. I try and be as interactive with you guys as I possibly can, and I know that if I were to have less client work to do, that I would get to do more influencer work, including interaction. That's just the nature of how my current work layout is set up. I can't spend hours and hours and hours responding to DMs every day. I try and do what I can, but I'm only one person and I can only do so much, but I appreciate all of the interactions that I do get to have, because I genuinely believe, and I've said this so many times and I'll keep saying it until it's not true, which I don't think it ever will be, but you guys are, for the most part, like barring all y'all little trolls out there, for the most part, you guys are a really special, wonderful group of people, and I'm really grateful for you. So interacting with you guys is a genuinely enjoyable experience. What are your love languages? So actually it's interesting because mine changed over time. I would say they changed like maybe 2 years ago. So my top two are words of affirmation and physical touch. I'm a very tactile person just in general. I've always been like a kinesthetic learner, and like part of how I bond with people is through affection, whether that's friends or family. Like I'm very much so like a hugger. Like I don't do handshakes. I'm like, screw that, bring it in. Like I'm a hugger. Like if it's a romantic partner, like I'm a very snuggly, cuddly person. Like I want to hold your hand. I like want to be physically near to you. All of that. Like I'm very, and like I feel like if I think it would be really difficult for me, and it has been difficult for me in the past with relationships, if someone is not that way, I'm like, what's wrong? And especially if they have been that way in the past, obviously, and then something changes, I'm like hyper aware of it. And I'm like, hey, you're not acting like you normally do. Like, what's going on? Words of affirmation. So like I literally, one of the best gifts that a partner or even a friend could ever get me is just like a handwritten letter, like telling me like, this is why I care for you. This is why I love you. Like, this is what you mean to me. Like, da 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 da. I love handwritten things. I love things that, like, I love talking to the people that I'm close with. I need to be cuddled, and I need you to tell you love me. That's why Luna's great. She doesn't tell me she loves me, but she tells me with her licking. I don't know. How do carbs play into your diet as you're prepping this round? So right now my carbs are honestly the highest they've ever been for being within a fat loss phase, which is really, really awesome. My last contest prep, my carbs got slashed drastically pretty early on. I would say we were probably about 10 weeks into things, maybe 10, 12 weeks into things. My last contest prep, when they basically got like gone for a while, and now they're still pretty high. Like I am really happy with how I'm progressing. I'm really happy with how I'm looking and feeling on a day-to-day basis. Like my focus is still high, my cognition is still high, my training performance is still high. I have some days where I do feel a little flat and I feel like melted candle wax, for lack of a better word, but for the most part, like I feel like, not that arm, but for the most part I feel like pretty muscularly full most of the time, especially as long as I keep my sodium and potassium and all those other electrolytes high enough. But carbs are around and they will have to decrease at some point, but for now they are in a lovely, lovely place. You see yourself having kids in the future. So this is one, I am gonna do one of those videos where I like answer questions from years ago now, but this is one that I know that I answered differently in the past. I used to be very like passionately against having children. I did not think it was for me, any of that. Like I didn't feel called to be a parent in any kind of way, and I think that's kind of changed. This is really cheesy, but I feel as though part of it is just knowing what my mom was to me, and like how much she, especially within like the last year and a half, like how much she's helped me, how much she's been there for me, and just over the course of my life, how much she's taught me and shown me and shaped me. I want to be able to give that to a future human that's going to be in the world. And I think that like obviously we're missing an essential second component to having a child, but I think that having, you know, that person that I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, you know, whenever I get married and all of that stuff, like I'm obviously going to love my husband very much, and I feel like I would probably want to have a child with him. I think that might be potentially logical for me. The only thing is, while I'm not as averse to the idea of actually mothering a child, I still, in a very real way, not joking whatsoever, the concept of pregnancy, and like if I sit and think about pregnancy for too long, I get massive anxiety. Like it literally, like my throat closes up, like I can't think about it, particularly like the delivery process and all of that. It gives me mad anxiety. So that's something that I'm still not quite over, and I don't know if I ever will be, so we'll see how that pans out. But yeah, not totally against children, but I would need another component. Someone asked sunrise or sunset. I'm very much so a sunrise kind of girl. I love mornings. I love like the fresh feeling of a new day. So I absolutely love sunrises, and like, I don't know, I just feel like a certain peace in the mornings. But I think there's special things about both. I think it would be super cool, whether it's with a group of friends, whether it's with a partner in the future, but like to have a day where we're gonna watch both like at the same time. So basically pull an all-nighter and do a bunch of cliche shit, like having deep conversations through the wee hours of the morning until the sun rises. So that's who I am as a person. Someone asked, how is your heart? That's really sweet. My heart's doing really good. I am in a place where I feel like I have a lot of peace. It was so funny when Kayla came up to shoot for the Winter Wonderland preset pack. We were driving around and she just looked at me and she was like, it's so crazy. It literally seems like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders like since I moved. And I feel that way 100%. I felt very at home here within days, and it's just been really, really great. I miss my Louisville friends so much. Like I literally texted Chanel after the party last night because she was like, oh, your spread looked really good, da, 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 da. And I was like, it was so much fun, it was really great. The only thing that would have made it like perfect is if my Lou fam would have been there, but I know that it's like one of those things where it's like make new friends but keep the old kind of a thing. So my heart's really happy. I just feel like I'm in a good place in life. I feel like I'm growing. And that's one of the things that I didn't feel like I was doing in Louisville anymore. I felt kind of trapped and like I was stifled and that I was kind of stagnant. And I feel like I'm doing things. I'm doing things. I just feel like I'm on a good trajectory right now. As far as romantically, I feel like I am in a place where, and this is something I try to maintain a lot of self-awareness around. Am I actually ready to date someone? If they were to come along, a couple months ago, I would have wanted to say yes, but I could not have confidently said, oh yeah, I'm ready for that. But now I feel like I'm in a place where I've done a lot of healing and I've come to a lot of peace over the relationships from the last year. And I feel like I'm in a good place, and I feel like I am in a place where I could give my love to another human being again. And I think that it would be a genuinely positive thing if it was the right match. But I'm also very much so like, I'm not into casual dating. Like I will not do that. I won't waste my time. So if it's not, and this sounds like very serious for dating, but like if I don't see a potential with you long term, I'm not gonna fuck around with it. Like that's just not how it's gonna be. One of my super loyal followers, like I see them in my DMs literally all the time and we chit chat and all that stuff. Carlio Fit, he asked a few different questions, and those will be what we are gonna wrap up today's Q&A with. First one's just like a fun one. If you were a sushi roll, which would you be and why? I would probably honestly be the one from Samurai back in Louisville that's like the mango and avocado with, and I always sub out the fried shrimp for just tuna because I love it and it's just super fresh and everything. So one with fruit, first of all, because fruit on sushi belongs, but one that's like tuna, mango, avocado, rice on the outside, cucumber and cream cheese on the inside. That would be neat. Then second question, what is your favorite way your friends show up for you when you need them? Honestly, one of the best ways that anyone can show up for me when I need them that is like close to me is just checking in. I'm a very strong person just naturally, but I also, as a result of being that strong person, I will put on a strong front when I need help and I won't ask for it just because I'm fine, I can handle it myself, and like deep down, the poor little child inside me is like, I just want a hug. So when one of my friends just asked like, hey, how are you doing? How's your mental health? Like, how are you feeling? How's your social battery? Like, how are you doing? And genuinely wants to know. That means more to me than anything. It's just when people like check in. Like, even if everything looks great on the outside, externally, all that, they just check in. Like, and they're like, hey, how are you doing? In a genuine way, not just like, oh, hey, how are you? Like, actually ask, like, how's your soul? I have a lot of those people that I'm very grateful for. And last question, favorite and least favorite aspect of being single? My favorite aspect, I would say, is just the fact that I get to be very selfish with my time. I don't have to, it's less pieces of a pie, for example. It's just less for me to divvy my attention up between. I can do what I want when I want. I can go where I want when I want. Like, I don't have to take another person's preferences or whatever into consideration. I can just do me. And then I would say the least favorite aspect is just like, then I would say my least favorite aspect of being single is just, I guess, being in this place where I feel like I am emotionally available again and like capable of, in all seriousness, like giving my love and my heart to another person and not having someone to give that love to, if that makes sense. So how I mitigate that is I just give it to the people that I already have, if that makes sense. So like, I'm really focused on just my friendships right now and my family, and making sure that the people that I do have that show me love feel that love back, and that I can pour into them. Because you can pour love into more than just a romantic partner, but I would say the worst part is just feeling like I have that love to give and I don't have anyone to give it to, but I do have someone to give it to. I have many people to give it to, so I'm focusing on the people that I can give it to. So that is gonna be it for me today, you guys. Thank you so much for asking such lovely, wonderful, depthful questions. I love doing like a lot of the non-fitness ones just because I answer so many fitness questions like as a part of my everyday job as a coach. So it almost becomes exhausting like talking about that stuff. I am still obviously a fitness dominant channel, so I answer as much as I can while sprinkling some life stuff in there. So that's it for me today. I love you guys so much. I hope you have a very wonderful holiday. This one will probably be going up on Christmas Eve. So I hope you have a wonderful, 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 wonderful Christmas Eve if you celebrate Christmas, or as Schmidt put it, white Anglo-Saxon privilege night. I love you guys so much. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and then click that notification bell so you never miss an upload, and I will see you soon. Love you. Bye.